Hey loves, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to all of the new subscribers that I got. Wow. Last video I did not expect the reaction or the outcome that I got. I really just didn't. When I posted that video, I felt kind of like, oh shit, what did I do? I just started some stuff. That's kind of like what I felt when I initially first posted it, and then I slept on it, and I came back and I checked, and I had all of these comments throughout that entire day. And I was just like, I would have loved to reply to a lot of you, but I was just like, it was so many that I just was like, I will make a general video discussing, like briefly just discussing how I just genuinely did not know a lot of people kind of felt this exact way that I felt. And really, I had a whole different like feel and vibe and just like a whole different type of thing for that video. It just kind of went south when I started filming it because all the stuff that I was venting to my husband about, it kind of just all came out in that video. More so like a rant. And it wasn't perfectly worded and it was very like jumbled and chaotic to me. And yeah, but the reaction I got, the comments that I got was just mind-blowing. Obviously, everybody didn't agree, and that's fine. I was solely just speaking off of just what I felt at the time, but wow. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say that like I thank all of you for like watching that video and like, kind of just sharing some of your own personal experiences with this. And yeah, I thank all of you for just like giving a little bit of your time to watch that video. And also I noticed that I got an influx of followers. I hope that it just isn't that video that keeps you here, but life is life, and you start finding out what you like and what you don't like when you subscribe to someone. So I hope that all of the new subscribers that I gained from that, I hope you'll enjoy the content. If you don't, that's totally fine, no grudges held. But you subscribed, and I just hope that you stick around and all that good stuff. So let's get on with today's video. So a lot of you know I'm in my rings. I talked about, when I set this up, I don't know where this is going in particular. I know my system. I know what my system needs. I know how to tweak my system into just about any type of thing, whether that is rings, bound, disc. But I don't know. I love this, all of this, but there are some things that I'm like, okay, my bullet journal can handle this, and then I have a bunch of other things that can handle a lot of other areas that I'm like struggling with in here. So yeah, let's just go ahead. It's chunky. This thing grew. I love this thing so much, but I will be honest with you, I do not love lugging this around. Like, I do not like, it's not fun to lug around at all. So this system, okay, so this system is very well suited for time management and task management. So I have a lot of respect for the day timer stuff, because it definitely sets out to do what it is intended to do. So for those of you who are new, who may have not watched my other videos, I have several sections. They're pretty basic, so I'll go straight into them. This back section here, all of this back here is all planning. All of this is just 2 quarters of planning. I don't need to have both quarters, but I wanted to have both quarters in for some particular reason, so I put both quarters in. So all of this back here is planning. This stuff up here is planning, sorta, but it's not. So in this area, this little folder thing, I hold like some important stuff, things that I don't necessarily want to show to y'all, like passwords, stuff about bills and finances, like contact information. All of that stuff gets housed in here. And so it is a section in here. And then these two sections are just my book stuff. So I'm in a book club and I kind of capture stuff regarding reading and here, and then stuff regarding weight, and personal goals and groceries and stuff like that in this section. So I will go back to these areas. I want to kind of talk about the planning aspect. So I ended up adding this in here. This printable is from Wonderful Planning, and I added this in here because I wanted something to go with this, which is like the cleaning, which is like the cleaning chart, the daily routines type thing. I wanted something to go with this so that I could at least check them off. So that way they weren't necessarily filling up within my daily pages, because I didn't need to write them every day. But I needed a place where I could hold myself accountable for checking them off. I'll be completely honest with you. This works better when I do put it in my daily pages, because that is primarily where I'm checking the most. But I put it here so that I didn't have to write it every day. I don't know. I've done this a year ago. Same concept, different insert. I've done it I want to say like a year and a half ago, and it worked then. But for some reason, it's not working so well. Like, there are things that I've done. I can't remember which day I've done them, and they just haven't been checked off. And then there's things that I continuously check off every day because I know we do them every day. So yeah, there's just a little bit of discrepancies with, me and this. But outside of that, I don't know if I will keep this in or take it out. I also added in this like monthly tracker, which goes from January to December, because I wanted to track things that we do on a month-to-month basis so that I could free it out from this habit tracker, because there are things in here that necessarily don't get checked off every single week or every single day, but they may happen like once or twice out of that week, or out of that month. So it doesn't necessarily need to be in here taking up space. So that's where this insert comes from. But like I said, I haven't really touched this as much. It just kind of like sits here, and I don't know what I want to do with this just yet. So it's kind of just like something that's just in here just to be in here at the moment. So that is the one new thing that I added. Also, I want to note that, okay, so in an attempt to try to de-chunkify and see if I could really slim this down, I had purchased, initially I had purchased the HP paper because I have an HP printer. But then I saw the Kikuyo business paper, and I wanted to really try that. So I purchased 2 reams of that, and I love printing on this paper. I just love the way that it feels and all that stuff. It's not that bright white like I like, but it works. It just works. I like it. So I think for future like print jobs, if I decide to stay in my rings, I would definitely do like the printed trackers and stuff. I would definitely do it on the Kikuyo paper because it is very much thinner than the HP paper that I'm using, which I chose the thinnest paper that I could get, regular printer paper, but the Kikuyo is just way better. Like, it's just way better. Okay, so let's go into my planning section. Let's talk about some of the things that I added. So I already showed you guys how I added this like dailies routine, which is basically like, this is like a set in stone routine. This includes like Monday through Friday because Saturday and Sunday we don't typically have a routine. It's kind of just like whatever. So I ended up putting this in here earlier, and I shared that with y'all, and I also shared this cleaning chart and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, if I'm being honest, I do not follow this at all. Really, it's more like a guide. Like, if I don't know what really should be done, or if I need to do something, I can like reference this. Like okay, today is Saturday. What the heck do I need to do on Saturday if I've done all of this stuff throughout the week? I can kind of look over and see like, okay, well, I didn't do this. If I feel like doing any of this, and I can just, knock off some of the like chore type things from here. But I don't follow this. This is more of a guide, because I think if I follow this, I will fall into the category of perfect, and I'm not perfect. So yeah, it's just more of a guide. But what I did sit down and do was fill out. So I printed this out, and this is, I want to say this was from Peanuts Planner Co. I want to say that's where I got this from. I had this like a year ago, and the last time that I had it, I had laminated it and all that good stuff. This year around, I'm like, heck no, not laminated, because things change too much. Our schedules change too much. My life changes too much, because a lot of like, for those who don't know, a lot of my life revolves around the military. And so with that, there's always things that can happen and can change, because my husband is in the Air Force. And because he just switched over from being in Power Pro to being in, gosh, I'm having brain fog. What is he in right now? Cybersecurity. So he just changed his job from Power Pro to cybersecurity. So new schedule, new routines, new everything. So life just keeps changing. So I was like, heck no, I'm not laminating this time, because I know routines will change. And then of course my son is getting older. So again, things will change again. But I wrote down his current work schedule, which I know is due to change. And then I wrote down our daily, like Monday through Sunday kind of routines, because like these are actual real routines. Every other day they change due to my husband's schedule and due to the things that we have going on. So I kind of wrote this down to, like, I don't know, kind of help to see where exactly I have time for some other things. And then I kind of mapped out like my monthly, weekly, and daily planning routine, which I try to keep everything very simple. I don't need to be in my planner 24/7. I don't need to be planning all day or astronomical times out of the day. I really just need like a set 1-2 of like, what do I need to do, where do I need to check, and all this stuff, like by month, week, and day. Like I have a daily setup where it's just like every day I get up, when my son is all together and all of his tasks have been taken care of, I kind of just pop into my planner and just like look over to see what all we've done, what the schedule is looking like, what's happening today, what packages may be coming, what notes, because I plan at night. And I find that to be so much easier, because at nighttime I kind of sit down and I can ask like, what's going on for tomorrow? Like I can sit and I can ask my husband like, what do we have going on tomorrow? What bills are due tomorrow? What's coming tomorrow? And if there's any notes, then I can just note them right there. And then throughout the day, if something major pops up or something that I need to jot down, I will literally just jot that down and check off things throughout the day. But I'm not really like planning per se throughout the day. I just kind of like reference it. It's more of like just checking off things that I wrote in my to-do, jotting down some notes and all that good stuff. And yeah, so let's go back to my planning section. So this calendar, I talked about this calendar. I talked about how, I took out the month on 2 pages, and I just wanted to do like the major, like big type stuff that I want to keep track of throughout this month. I'm noticing that well, this month in particular turned out to be kind of busy, because my son had he had his well checks and he got shots. And then, I had to do stuff for myself as far as like changing my TRICARE plan from where we were to, oops, I bumped you guys, from like where we were to like where we are now. And, he's got more appointments coming up and just some other things that are coming up or that are due, some big ticket stuff. So it's just like, I don't know if this will necessarily be enough space. I'm already considering like either I'm going to be adding in those short trim sheets, or I'm going to be using the back of the weekly where the notes pages, or I'm going to be using this for overflow, which I'm not sure of yet. But as far as I know, a lot of the stuff goes into here. Now I do have the Day Designer. I'm getting these names right today. I do have this Day Designer monthly book, and I have like when I need to know bill due dates and like other things, they kind of go into here as like that overflow. But for all of like, because there's bills in here, there's like my son's appointments in here, and if anything needs to move, like this was written on Tuesday, but it really needed to be on Monday. This got moved over because it happened on Monday. Like anything that really needs to be in a calendar, it all kind of just gets jumbled into here. And of course, I do a little bit of forward planning in here as well. I try to keep this calendar, like these are things happening for February, but they don't necessarily need to be in here at the moment because there's nothing major as far as appointments or anything. But when those appointment type things do pop up, they will go in here and they'll get noted into here. And then I'll put like a sticker or some sort. I don't really have a color coding system. I just kind of think about what colors mean to me in my head for the time that I'm using them. So like things that are like really important, I put them in red. I try to put like anything like I want to say like appointment wise or whatever, I try to put them in like standout type colors. And I do have classes that I take because I recently got a Peloton bike. So there are some classes that I do schedule for myself and take. So I try to put those in here and all that good stuff, but I don't bog this calendar down. It just like all the other stuff kind of just goes into this little Day Designer. But yeah, so let's talk about these weeklies. I don't know how well I actually enjoy these weeklies. I have been using a vertical for so long. Even in my bullet journal, I have really been using and loving a vertical. And it's crazy to me because I didn't necessarily enjoy a vertical at first. But when I was using my bullet journal, I started using a vertical, drawing out a vertical, and I really liked it. I really liked having like, my top 3 up top. And then I liked the way that the space was laid out because I like to put the weather and then my top 3. And then I like to use or reserve the bottom of that space for like notes and to-dos and things like that. I have kind of sort of shifted away from the horizontal layout, though it's not new to me. It is a little bit restrictive in terms of like how I want to use it. In the past, I have drawn a line to divide like important stuff and or like appointments and notes or to-dos. I've done that. This I'm just kind of like just writing whatever, and I just kind of put the weather wherever. But I don't know. 3 weeks in, and I will say that it's kind of it's hit or miss in terms of like how I like it. But if I had to be honest with function, this is functional. I do check this. I do reference this. I do write notes in this. So it definitely works in terms of function. But if we want to talk specifics in terms of what I like and my non-negotiables, I'm starting to feel like I'm leaning away from the horizontal, but the system works. Like, it definitely works. So I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, this, because I know my system and because I have a system that I've been working on for years, I know that this will work and I know how to navigate around this. It's just more, it boils down to more of a personal preference. But when I purchased these, I really was considering like drawing that line, because I like, if you can't see, these inserts have like a schedule side and then they have a journal side. And I think what threw me off a little bit is that, okay, on, oops, I'm shaking you. On the left hand side, the schedule is on the left and then the journal is on the right. And then on this side, you have the journal being on the left and the schedule being on the right. So it throws me off slightly. So if I wanted to divide this, I would have to flip this area to match this one, and it just kind of throws me off because I would be looking at like this word journal, and I can always change that. It's minor tweaks to the insert itself, but it's not like something bad. It's just personal preference. I have started to do like a little bit of forward planning. I do forward plan a lot in these. Like when I'm not forward planning in this, for monthly stuff, like, do I have anything written? I don't have nothing written in March. So I'm only kind of forward planning a month ahead at a time, because I don't want to forward plan months ahead because I don't know if those things will stay or if they will change. But it's okay for me to do like a month ahead versus several. So, and so I do that. I do forward plan a month ahead, but then I also forward plan weeks in ahead, especially like if we schedule something. So I kind of have already planned out the next week before we even get there. And I think I kind of stopped there because I don't want to go too far. So I kind of just only do like 1 month ahead and 1 week ahead. Yeah, so let's get to my daily section. So these dailies happen to have a to be done in January section. And basically what I have done here is I have kind of made up a color system. It's not a set in stone color system, but like certain colors to me just mean like it's really important. And like, yeah, so basically I made like a color coding system, and I kind of like brain dumped in a bunch of things that could or should be done in this month. I know that realistically everything isn't going to get done in a single month. They're going to be things that get transferred over, but for me this was kind of like my master to-do list for the month. And I do check this. I check this on a week by week basis, because if I check this every day, then I'm going to look at this the wrong way, and I don't want to do that. I kind of just want to look at it every week and pick things that I can fit into my week and days and stuff, and just kind of work with that. And then whatever does get done and doesn't get done, you know, they can be migrated or moved or whatever the case may be, they'll be dealt with. But I don't stress about it, but it is helpful to have like a master monthly to-do list of things that you can do throughout the month and divide up into your weeks. So I love that about this insert. I'll kind of flip through these and then I'll go back. So I actually really enjoy these dailies, and I think that if I were to leave this, because I'm going to finish out December. I'm going to finish out January. Because I really feel like if I do decide to, you know, like, okay, I tried this, I tried these inserts, not necessarily the system, like I said, because I already know my system and I kind of tailor things to be, or to work with the kind of what's the way that I'm trying to word it. I don't need a system because I know my system, and I kind of tailored these inserts or handpicked these inserts because I knew that they would work with my system. And really what it boils down to is personal preference. So if by preference I don't decide to stay in this, maybe I'm just not feeling like this condensed space. Maybe I need to go up. Or maybe I'm just missing my bullet journals. I did say that. I did mention that quite a bit, that at heart I like book bound because book bound it makes life easy. But as a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and I have my own set of goals and like routines and things like that, sometimes it's just not enough time in a day to really do a bullet journal. But I have a bunch of things that I can shop in my stash. If we have enough time in this video, I kind of talk about those a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna finish out January for sure, and then I'm going to sit down, do my month review, and evaluate like what do I want from this, and make the necessary changes from there. Because I think you have to do that, like just sit down and reevaluate, like, okay, what are your needs and what is the next month looking like for you, and all that good stuff. But like I said, these dailies I really enjoy. I even enjoy using these little short trim note pages. I kind of put slits in them so that I didn't have to open the rings. I could just tear them out, so that way it was easier for me. I like doing a lot of my overflow like to-dos on the second page. I think it works great for that. And like I said, I don't really have a color coding system. I just kind of color whatever I'm feeling at the moment or for that day. I just kind of block out whatever color I want to block out with, and go from there. Sometimes I do a little bit of like random journaling. Sometimes it's a lot of like in process thought. Like maybe I'm thinking about something or I'm trying to work through something, so I'll like write out like the current thought that I'm having about something in particular. So I do a lot of that, which is where a lot of my note taking comes from, and which is why another reason why I enjoyed a bullet journal so much is because in there I could just keep going with the thought process versus being shrunken to 2 pages for one single day. So whereas people get scared about not running out of pages for a bullet journal, I actually get that fear in rings. I don't really get that fear of running out of pages in a bullet journal because it's a blank slate and you have the freedom to do whatever, and then you can just pop into a new book. But when I'm in rings, I get the fear of not having enough pages or running out of pages to take notes. And so that's where all this little extra stuff starts coming in, like all the note pages and like notebooks and things like that, because of that general fear of just running out of space. But I'm really enjoying this. Some days I don't have busier schedules. Some days I have a lot of notes. Some days I have extended to-do list. And yeah, they work really well for me. Sometimes I end up running out of space for like in here, but then I end up transferring a lot of that stuff over because I'm thinking maybe I might need these notes. So I write them on something removable, so that way I can either tip them in or archive them with other notes. So yeah, to that. And I want to say this is boiling down to this week. So this week was kind of busy, not really. I did a lot of note taking, as we can like kind of see. I did a lot of note taking. I was working through some things, trying to get like health stuff taken care of, trying to just figure out a little bit of stuff. And then this will be today. So as you can see, I've only checked off one thing. This is my schedule for today. I don't know what time it is. I know that it's somewhere around 2-3 because I'm filming, and this is a free space for me, as you can see, because I am filming. But I know like around this little area right here, I have something going on. I know I have a class, so I was like, I got a little free time. Let me go ahead and get this done. But yeah, these have been my dailies and I really enjoy these. So I do also really enjoy about these dailies is that you have this notes and memos page in the back, which kind of works like an index. In reality, it is an index because you date and then you write, the the description or the note or whatever, and then that way you can see like what, and then you can go back to that. So on the 8th, my son ended up having an appointment, which I wrote somewhere here in the notes. He ended up having an appointment, and my husband had came and told me some stuff about needing to schedule him for derm and needing to have a dental appointment. So those were future notes that needed to be dealt with for the following month, because I don't know, like one of them we dealt with already, but the other one we will need to schedule for February. So what I did is I took those notes from the 8th and I kind of just like made a small little note about it. So that way when I do February's plans, if I'm still in this binder, when I do February's plans and I go to do this type of stuff, I can just look at the note that I have, and then if I'm confused, I can go back to that day and be like, oh, okay, gotcha. And then I have stuff from the 16th also that I wrote pertaining to something that I needed to do in the notes section. And then I know you're supposed to use these little numbers, but really, I just don't acknowledge these numbers. I know they're kind of broken down like this, but I don't use the numbers. I basically just write the note and then I just date the note. And because reality, the way that I think that this is supposed to be used is that you're supposed to block off where that note is written. So if that note is written on line 1 and it extends down to line 8, then you would draw that line, that note is there, and then here you would date it. So what date, and then write the number and then what the note detail is to help you better find it. That's the way that I think that it's supposed to be used, but it kind of confuses me a little bit to do that, and it takes up more space. So instead I'm just like, I can write the date, and if I really need the note to stand out, I can use signifiers and all of that good stuff. Those type of things help me visually much better. But on a visual standpoint, that is a great idea and a great way that they have that laid out. So yeah, I really like this. I think this is a great system. So as far as planning and stuff like that goes, this has been really nice to use. I was a little confused about it at the start of this year. Like I said, the first year of the month, or the first month of the year is usually the hardest, because whenever you want to try something new, especially if you're jumping into a new layout or something like that, new insert or new book, you have to kind of get a feel for it first. And so those first couple of days that you're using something, it comes off as, this ain't gonna work, but you have to like give it a little bit to kind of like do its thing. And for me, it was kind of feeling like that. But then, like by week 2 and by like the end of this week, I was already kind of settled, and yeah, I started really enjoying the way that everything was laid out, and I think that it works really good with the kind of system that I like to have in terms of like time management and notes and time blocking and all of that. And especially like if you're a lister, then this is like great for that. I was concerned at first about it not being enough space. It's definitely a good amount of space. It's not entirely enough for all the things that I want to do, want to say in a given day. But I think that they give you a really good amount of space. And then, like I said, you can always use these little half sheets to extend on a day, but this will eventually bulk up your planner if you're not taking these out on a regular, consistent basis. So you have to be mindful about that. But outside of the planning aspect, this definitely works. Okay, so some other things that I kind of just want to touch bases on. I'm not going to do too much in depth of this because it's really not, it's not that deep for me. I talked about these, but I didn't share these in the last video. I kind of put these on the little dividers that I printed out and made. They're just like 24 quick like fixes. This one is when you feel overwhelmed. So I put these here to like just be tools, little reminders to myself, like these are some things you can do if you're feeling overwhelmed, because this little area is supposed to be like my health, wellness, and like It's supposed to be the area in which I work on like my weight, meal planning, all that good stuff. This is supposed to be that area, that section. And so a lot of that stuff is in here. I have been very consistent with my Peloton bike since I got it. So I've been tracking those workouts. Like I said, it's a system. And so a lot of it is just like testing out certain inserts and testing out how you like things. This is why these areas, the books and this section, is primarily why I kind of want to switch to like a goal type planner, because I do have a fitness and wellness goal in mind, and one that I've been working on for several years. And I think that goal planning will definitely aid in this area. The only thing that I don't like about goal planning is that it's so detailed, but I think in order to reach the kind of goal that I want to reach, I need to be a little bit more strategic in how I want to go about accomplishing that goal. Because like I said, I struggled with weight for many years, and obviously it's affecting my health in the worst way. I'm pre-diabetic and all that other stuff. So it's not doing too great that I'm just kind of like casually sailing through. I kind of need to take my health a little bit more serious these years. But I have been tracking my activity on the Peloton bike. At first I had this little thing down here, which the red was supposed to be 100-day, and then the yellow was supposed to be when I hit my 10-day mark. I surpassed that 10-day mark, but I never checked it off in here. So basically what I did was, the red just means I worked out. The green means it was a rest day, but I did something pertaining to fitness. So whether I did a meditation or a stretch, or whatever the case, a strength class, it was still something pertaining to health and wellness. So I just kind of marked it off as green, as not being like a bike ride necessarily. And then I forget what the orange was, but I know I worked out on that day too. And then when we come in here to my 30-day challenge, so I want to make it a goal to 30 days fitness activity. So 30 days fitness, anything fitness. And I'm not being color coordinated. I'm just kind of picking dots from what I have and just putting them on here. And then I have my 100-day challenge, which I'm keeping track, because on my Peloton bike, I have I'm in the 100-day Peloton challenge, and it's 100 days on the Peloton bike. Whatever you do, whether it's meditation, strength, yoga, Pilates, whatever class, whatever thing that you're taking, it all counts towards your 100 days on Peloton. So I'm just keeping track of all of that here, just keeping track of all the things I do on the Peloton bike here as well, because I think it will be so cool when I get to day 100. I think it will be cool if I get to day 30, but I think it will be dope if I get to 100. And then I'm not going to show my weight log because it's a little embarrassing. Some things you just I have a problem with my weight, and I'm very self-conscious about my weight, and I don't like to talk too much about it, but I at least want to share the things that I'm doing to work towards that. So yeah, I won't show my weight log, but I'll show some of these tracker type things. And then some other stuff I added in here. I added this blood sugar tracker. I was filling this out. I printed it on that Kikuyo paper. I was filling this out, but the little thing that I have was giving false reads. I have one that my doctors gave to me, but I cannot find it. So I need to find that one. But I was keeping track, and the one that I had that was giving me misreads had recently just started giving me misreads. So I'm like, I have to make an appointment and get a new one, just so I can keep track of all of that. And then because I had gotten away from tracking it so much, I kind of needed this little glucose chart. You can get these from anywhere like Google. That's where I kind of got this one from. I know somewhat about the ranges, but I'm not keen and fluent in that. I also have handouts that have been given to me by my doctors about like where my ranges and stuff should be. but they're stored somewhere in a folder and I have no idea where they are. So I went to Google and printed out a quick like little cheat sheet and slapped that baby in here so that way I knew what to at least look for. So those are in here. I also was using these grocery sheets, but I didn't like the other ones that I had printed and was trying to use the ones with the like multiple boxes. So I like when I finished them, I just took them out, threw them away because I didn't care for them. And I reprinted the other ones with the meals like this and the shopping list because I just like the layout for this better. And I haven't done any meal planning yet. So when I do decide, I will definitely use them. I don't use them every day, but when I do decide that I want to meal plan, they come in handy for that. But I have been making some grocery lists. This is helpful. We just recently went grocery shopping at Sam's Club. So that was this haul. And yeah, I just have a few little note pages in here for that. This is one for today. And then, like I said, I've been working on routine building. We are potty training. We're trying to potty train my son. So I really want to get into a better routine. We have a routine, but I want to get into a better routine that will help in terms of potty training and just all that stuff so we can stop doing things so late at night. And then as far as reading and stuff goes, I'm just tracking off when I read. I haven't read, today is the 18th. I haven't read anything in 2-3 days. Today, if I decide to read something, then I'll log it off. But I haven't read anything in a couple of days. I did finish our first book club book. So I was tracking like the progress and what I thought in terms of like ratings. And I wrote like little notes so that way when we go into our meeting, I want to say, which is next week on the 26th, when we go into our meeting, I will have all my little bulleted notes so that I know what the heck I'm talking about, because the last couple of meetings we had, I'll be honest, I didn't read the last couple of books that we had for our book club. And then I went into that meeting and I knew nothing. Like I couldn't relate. I couldn't participate in the conversation. So don't like that experience. Don't like looking and sounding like an idiot. So I was like, okay, if I read a book and I don't like it, or you know, whatever the case may be, I'm just gonna write notes about it. This one I actually liked, but I wrote little like tidbit notes about certain topics, so that way when we touch base on the book, I have some things that I can talk about and bring up at the book club meeting. So yes, I like these inserts. They are from Haru Plans. In the past, I used a book journal from Filofax, and I like that too. I want to say I have it and I can share it with you. Let me go grab it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the one that I had from Filofax, and I was using this one and I really liked this one too. But the thing that got me with this book journal is that, okay, you have like all these prompt questions, and then, you know, you can go into full detail and you can talk about, you can rate like the writing style, the setting, the environment, the characters, the plot, all that good stuff. You can write all of that here, and then you can express your thoughts about like how the book made you feel and all that good stuff. This is very dived in and detailed, and I think Filofax nails it when it comes to stuff like this. But a lot of times I read so fast, like especially when I'm in a groove, I read so fast and I don't get a whole lot of time to sit down and do this. This is very time consuming to do this kind of thing. I think that if this was the only journal that I was using, I would definitely dive into this a little bit more. But in terms of like ease, this works, and I'm able to keep up with this a whole lot better than the Filofax. I still love the Filofax, and I would definitely repurchase that again. But This just works for like ease and all that good stuff. I'm just able to keep up with this a lot better because of its simplicity. So that is my personal rings planner. The other thing that I wanted to show, if we had time, I was going to talk about going into goal planning, like a goal planner. So like once January is done, I was thinking like if I decide not to stay in this, that I would revisit like a goal type planner, because honestly, my rings is chunky. I can slim her down, but I have some things that I can consider. So these two I already had. I was gifted this one when Clever Fox sent me this. I did do a review on this. So if you guys don't exactly know what this is, if you want to go see what this is, it's basically, I'm not gonna like do all the opening and stuff again, but basically like this is a 6-month undated goal planner. And like I considered this one because of the things that it has in here. Like you have the monthly review, the weekly, the daily, the habit tracking, and then you have your 6-month layouts, affirmation, gratitude, inspiration. This still would give me like that bullet journal type feel, with the compactness of everything that I need in one bundle. So this is a great alternative to my rings, because like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in my rings, I can literally do it in here. It's just not a year's planner. So if I decide to stick with this, I would eventually have to purchase another one. But lucky, I have so this one is the premium. Yeah, this one is the premium undated, and this is the one that I bought, which is the 2nd edition. They kind of have the same things, only this one's a little formatted a little bit different. I do have a video up when I purchased these, and then I did the whole walkthrough and unboxing for those too. So yeah, and then I printed out some vision boards because I'm like, I do really enjoy goal planning a lot, and I enjoy like making things visual and like seeing the things that I'm working on in this kind of way. So that's why I really gravitate towards like the Clever Fox planners, because for the things that I like, they just nail it in terms of like visual and goal type planning things. And like I just like the way that their stuff is laid out and how affordable they are. But and I'm shopping my stash. I haven't purchased anything, but you know, I like the day timer system too, for like that task management, time management type stuff. But they just lack in terms of like goal oriented things. I feel like I need to have different inserts is what I'm finding. When I initially purchased the day timer stuff, it was solely because I wanted to get better at time management. But now that I'm using it, I'm finding that, okay, it works great for time management, which is why I think, and why I said in my recent videos that I think it is a perfect system for someone who works, but it lacks in terms of like when you're trying to accomplish certain things in a day or in that month. It just lacks in a couple of areas, which is not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for say, but it's just like a personal preference. So I don't know. I like this, and I'm definitely going to finish out January, like I said, reevaluate, see where my goals are. The good thing is I have a bunch of stuff already that I can visit that are undated. So that is one thing that I know can work with my system. I have a ton of videos up where I've used the Clever Fox and other things with my system, and like the way that I like to plan rather. So yeah, life is full of surprises. We'll see, but I really enjoy this, and I have the whole year. And so the Clever Fox is undated. So if I do jump into the Clever Fox for a month and I've worked on some goals and I decide I want to go back into this, I have all the things that I need for this, so I don't have to buy anything this year, which is really good for me. But yeah, you guys, I think that is it from me. Oh, I want to give a little update on this really quick. This didn't happen. I'm not using this. This was supposed to be a reference journal situation. I talked about it in the last video before the current video. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. It just became too much and it just didn't happen. Outside of that, I'm just taking all my notes in here. I have a little reference book that I like to keep in here. I got some sticky notes that I like to use. I have everything that I need in here, so I didn't need anything else. I think anything else would have just been extra. But that is what I have. And yeah, you guys, I thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And I will catch you guys in my next planning related video. Bye, loves.